Need to actually start doing something then. Hello, people. Give me a moment. Starting a little bit late. Had a late. Actually, still have hot pizza over there where I can't get to it. So.
That's why I can't cook.
Mhm. Well, the pizza's good. So. All right. I'll go ahead and do this. I'm not gonna bother posting to Facebook. Go ahead and get this show on the road. Alright, so today we're going to be playing around with rigging, and I have a couple of other scenes open here. For two reasons. One of them is that I haven't rigged anything in a long time, so these are good, they're useful for me as reference to kind of see how I rigged my other characters. Just as, every skill, if you're not using it regularly, you get a little bit rusty and have to remember some stuff. The other reason is so that you can, I guess, get a bit of a preview to see where this sort of thing is going to go. So, probably the more appropriate enemy is the cucumber here. And if you can hear rustling, it's a cat playing with a bag, as they love to do. So, for something like this cucumber, basically you'll see that I have the rig here. Typically I put stuff under a locator named rig, and then this would be the root of the skeleton that branches out into those different areas. And if you've seen videos of the game where you see that I can like remove the crab's arms and stuff, it's in part because they're on separate mesh items here, which does increase the draw call, and it's not as optimized for performance and stuff, but it allows me to do cool things like make the crab's arms disappear and all that. So rig, root, all these goals have to do with IK. So like if I were to go in here and grab one of these and move it around, wouldn't really want to move that one, you'd want to rotate it. And then I have a controls gizmo here that I should be able to drag that comes up with all these user channels that I can animate for things like the degrees of the rotation of the different eyelids and stuff. So for like the different facial expressions you see of the characters and everything. Let's see. So that's probably, a decent overview. Everything's gonna have different controls. Like this one has the teeth slide and teeth rotation. So let's go ahead and try rigging this clam. And so now I am going to save a new version of this scene. And since we've talked about the fist thing, decided I didn't like it. Not so much, I actually kind of, the model has grown on me, and I think it suits sort of the stone type fist thing that I was going to do, but after really thinking about it, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And so discussing it with my wife, we figured out that, maybe a boxing glove sort of thing would make more sense, as it could be like a coiled up tongue could kind of look like a boxing glove. And it would suit the game more and everything. But the thing is that the tongue itself suits the same purpose. The tongue itself will be usable for like a punch type hit, as well as like a stab or spinning around or anything like that. So there's really no reason to have the other stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Now we have to figure out what we should probably do is keep this all on one layer. So I'm going to take these polygons, just put them over here. Giant clam layer. Okay, and we're on the setup tab. Go into a side view. I'll go with the side view. So actually, first off, we should go ahead and move. We can't do center selected. What I need to do is bring this up. Let me go action center automatic. Y. Okay, doesn't really matter. So basically, for the AI in the game, you want to have like the base of your character pretty much at 0. So one thing, I'm using the A-Star pathfinding project that you can find on the Unity Asset Store, and that's how you're supposed to set things up. But it makes sense outside of that anyway, because otherwise you'd have to calculate it, an offset. Because like if this was laying on the ground right now, it would be halfway buried in the ground, which you might want is an initial state before you start attacking an enemy, but you don't want it to always be that way. So it's easier to offset it to be in the ground to begin with, and then trigger it and have it pop out and always be above the ground. So instead of using scripts and things like that, I should just be able to go in and add a plane, and then, thank you. I now have wine. So go in, select all this, and I'm just going to use a modeling like a snap, just to set precision, drag snap rigid, and then I should be able to, that looks like the farthest point, the closest down to the bottom. I should be able, let me see about this. Oop. Should, and I guess it's not. And let's see, what are my snapping settings? Snapping. Yeah, okay, because it's not set, well, I guess it should have been snapping to the grid, but yeah, see, there we go. So I was just, dragging down to this with the y-axis handle, and then dragging over to this vertice so it snaps it. So it's perfectly aligned now with the ground. Go ahead and delete this, save the scene. Now I can start adding some bones. So I'm going to go ahead and go up here, create a locator, name this rig. And for now, I'm not going to be putting the root or anything in it. I'm just going to really disable it to get it out of my way. So, where do I want the pivot and everything? I probably still want all of that to be centered. Might as well. Let me find the skeleton tool. Should be in here, skeleton. Alright, so this should be a fairly simple rig. We pretty much need to have something to open the clam top with, and really, I guess we should have something for the bottom. And then like a tail basically sort of set up for the tongue. And if you look at like my cucumber, you'll see that I just have the spine node here on the bottom is the root. You look at the crab game mesh, I do have a root here that will move, basically break it, but everything's parented under this rig. Oh, actually I don't have deformers turned on and everything because I'm in the wrong window. If I go over to the animate and bring up these, let's see, so this should work. But then if I go select the root, you see it's because it's set up with IK. Okay, enough stalling. go over here, and I pretty much, come on, wrong, yeah, that's correct. Skeleton, tool properties, add, I don't want symmetry, any of that, and I do want snapping, because I want to snap this to a vertex, specifically hi Brony Joe. Hello. Sorry, I got a bit involved and was not looking at chat. So I click on this, and then my idea here is to go there with that, and then select this one again, go about up. I don't want that. I want this bone, and I want to go here. And why are you doing that to me? You should be selecting, select you, skeleton, come up here. There we go. That's more of what I expected. But this might actually create a problem. I might need to have a different bone. So let's see. Normally, I guess I would probably want to hide the, or maybe turn off grid snapping. Tool properties, snapping, not grid, I want grid. Turn off, or maybe I don't want grid. Well, what I can do is I could just duplicate that locator, but the problem would be that if I select, let's say, if I move that joint, that's going to be fine. I've had problems with this in the past, where basically you see this one node here, and then you have it controlling all three of these other nodes. Can sometimes make it just not want to behave properly. But something I can do is say take this locator here, press Control D, and actually, do I have rotation on this position? No, it's not going to tell me the rotation, so I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to select this again, go grab the skeleton tool, make sure I've got that one highlighted, and what I really want to do, I'll just click, I'll get my snapping back again, vertex, I'm just going to click basically right back here, where the origin was, or that first one, and now hopefully this will allow me to do what I want. So basically what I want to do is just like duplicate this, move that over, and then add as a child here. So that keeps them pretty straight and aligned. I guess what I need to do is figure out how many I want to have. So I'm going to go ahead and remove, yes, go ahead. So let's go over to the tools, modeling, duplicate. And I want to duplicate the items using clone. So I'll just click in here. And for now, I have to look at the spans. Would be normally how I would do this. And okay, so slow down a moment, select the clam, go in here, hide all that. So I have this bone back here, and that's because I'm eventually going to be using that to scale the tongue to make it disappear or appear. So then to make it deform, what I would normally do would be to have this. Oh, hello again. Is the clam going to, and I guess other than saying hello again, I will say hello Hearthstone guy, which again might not make sense because I don't know if you've said anything in chat, but sorry for that. Stupid question, is the clam going to open? Yes, the clam is going to open, bite you, lick you, yeah. Alright, so now I need to align these with this, basically with the spans. And the other bones are kind of in my way. I guess I can't really do anything about that right now. Yeah. Hide those. Sorry, I tend to get involved in what I'm doing, and the way my monitors are set up, it's kind of hard for me to see the chat. But if you have any other questions, feel free to ask them. I like questions. Alright, so I do have, see, now is where it could get tricky. Let's go ahead. I've got that one joint. I'm just going to grab the skeleton tool again, and from here, I can't see it, but I know, because this is in the way, but I know there's a vertice there. So I'm going to click that. I'm going to skip a span, and then click here, because basically this span will be weighted 50% between the two. And just continue that up here, there, and hopefully that would be the last one. And good, they actually stayed centered into the mass of the object instead of snapping up at weird angles onto the verts and stuff. So now what I'm debating is the rotation and stuff of this as to where I want to put the goal. I guess I'll go ahead and take this all the way to the tip here. I'm not sure that's going to make sense, but we will see. Alright, so that's all set up. That's all set up. Now I can go ahead and test binding this and then see if it works or not. Let me advance OpenGL, and I'm going to go ahead and save this as 3. And then let's see, setup mode. I'm going to go ahead and call this root. Oop, not roog. Root. And then select the clam. Items mode. Then over, let's see, deformers, bind, smooth distance. I mean, it really doesn't. I'm going to end up having to paint all of this stuff anyway, so that really doesn't matter. So now here is where I was talking about possibly running into an issue with this bone and maybe needing to have one more bone back before doing that, because I can't have so I do need to have one more bone back. Because what's happening right now is that this root is counted as what this is weighted to, not this piece here. So I need to basically have two overlapping pieces. So I'm gonna undo the weighting, and alright, so that's not going to be the root. That is going to be the bottom. And then I'm going to duplicate that, and this will be the top. Then I'll add a locator. Wait, will I add a locator? No. No, I'll just duplicate this one and call this the root. And the top and the bottom will be in the root. So that's the root, and it's not going to do anything. And the bottom, and that's okay. This one, and let's see, so yeah, this one needs to be in top, and then this one is the tongue root. And we might as well bring that straight into the root. That's looking much more proper, other than what's going on there. So, let's see, there's this one, the root, tongue root. Ah, yes, that would be why. Because the entire hierarchy. There. That looks better. Alright, let's try this again. Select that, select the clam, setup mode, bind, smooth, setup. Alright, so now I can get rid of all weighting on the root here, because I don't want that to affect anything. I do, however, want, say, like this top for me to be able to open the clam. But as I said, I'm going to just have to do all the weighting on this myself, which tends to be the case. Everything I rig, I pretty much have to weight it myself. So let's go ahead and select the top root here, or yeah, the top piece, and let's go to the weighting tools, isolate these weights, which means I've now taken all the weighting away from everything else. From this bone, it's not weighted to anything else. Go ahead and check. And really, since I'm going to have to do everything myself, I might as well just, you know, additive off. Just kill all the weights on everything. Adjust weights, and the tongue root. Adjust weights. Adjust weights. And I can just go through and select each of these, and now that has everything. Easy enough. Adjust weights. So now there should be no weighting on anything, and I can go in here and make them myself. So for this object, top bone, adjust weights 100%. And while I'm at it, whoop, do not want to delete that, I want to hide that. While I'm at it, I might as well go in here. Well, oops, hide everything with that. There we go. And weight this top section to this as well at 100%. Then grab these and do these at 75%. Everything's gone so dark. So weighting, just weights, but I want these to be at 75%. And then go into the middle here. These will be at 50%. Adjust weights, 50%. Now I will select the bottom bone, and I might as well give me that again. Adjust the weights 50% there. Go ahead and grab this edge all the way around, adjust weights 100%, grab these, and these will be 75. And now I'm realizing that I needed to follow that through. So like this needs to be, that is the only other span, yeah. So these need to be 25%. And hopefully that doesn't overwrite my other weights. So let's go select the top, and all I need are these. Set these to 25, and that should have this piece done. So now if I were to unhide stuff, grab this top bone and rotate this, we get a nice stretch in there with that piece. The tongue, however, is not following it. I might need to fix that in the rigging later. I guess it probably should follow the center, but that shouldn't be too hard to deal with, because it's going to need to, I'll basically need to get the rotations of these two and kind of split the difference. Let's see, so now bottom, grab the bottom piece here, adjust weights 100%, tongue root. So the thing with the tongue root is that I should be able to scale this. Oh really? Oh yeah, it's not weighted, that's why. Getting ahead of myself. So what I need to do now is go hide everything other than the tongue. Select this tongue root, which probably, I guess this could get a little tedious to do all this stuff. So I'll start, I guess, at the end here and do select lasso style rectangle with vertices, and I should be able to just grab all, or do I not want all of them? Let's start with this one, because it's, maybe I shouldn't start with that one. I'll start with this one. That's a good, easy place to start. Alright, so this span right here, oh, I need to make sure, and actually, side view might be better. Anyway, select that, select this, vertices, and then since this is the base, that's the base of it, I'm going to weight this at 50%. Wait a minute. I think I'm being dumb. Hold on. Yes, this should be 100%. This should be 50%. And I probably should set this up on macros or something. but whatever. Just weights, 50%, 100%. And then this will be 50% again. And anyone feel free to ask questions, because this, it's going to take me a little while to get over there. I might as well ramble about something you want to hear about. That's 50%. Then, so 100, there's that. Then this one will be 100%. I'm curious on my cucumber. I did the same thing. Just come in here and kind of see. I don't want to isolate the weights. I want to see the weights. I want to see the weight values. Okay, so that's a smoother one. So anyway, good. I'm just trying to get some reference to make sure I'm doing what I should be doing. So 100 at that end, but there isn't a break in the center of the spine, or in the thing. So should it be... I guess the only other character I have is the tongue particularly different compared to other things you could model and rig. Particularly different. No. I just haven't done something like a tail in a little while. So I'm going to go over and grab my Prawn Jeremy character, because that's the only one where I think I've actually done this, and it being late, my mind is playing tricks on me after a long day of game dev, and I just want to make sure that I'm doing this properly. Okay, so he has a bit of a tail, and there we are. So the span here is in the center. So I didn't actually align the bone with a span. I aligned the center of the bone with a span. Well, let's, alright. I'm just gonna try it then. If I have to redo it, I have to redo it. We'll just see what we have. I'm just gonna go ahead and go with it. Bone. Bone. There we go. So do I want to do 100% in the center? I don't think that would make sense, because if it's gonna... you want it to rotate that way. 100%... or would it make sense? Actually, I think how I'm already doing it looks like that'll probably work just fine. So 100% there, 50%, 50%, 100% there, then 50%, and 100% and 50% there. Grab this one, do 50%. As well grab that, 50%, and 100%. Grab this one, 100%, 50%, 50%. That one, so I'm on 50% right now, so I'll do that, and that. Grab this 100%. Now is where it starts to break down a bit. Let's see, 50, do this at 50. And that one, 50. That one at 100. And now since this is the only one left, we'll do this one at 50. And then everything in here will be at 100. So really, like, everything I've ever rigged has been different in some way. Now, if you look at the range of characters that I have in the game already, they're all pretty different. You know, from having, like, PJ has all of the different antennas, 8 legs, a tail. The crab has 8 legs and stuff like that, but doesn't have a tail, but does have eyebrows. Then there's things like the blowfish, the urchins. So anyway, it can be a bit of an experiment. Go back, 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 back. Then, if we're looking at that, so, oops. So it's 100, and then 50 behind it. It's 100, and then it should be, so it should technically be, come on. So if that's 100 there, it should technically be 50 back here. But then I just have this kind of useless bone sitting here for no reason. This one right there. And removing it might cause a problem. Add, delete. Tongue root got disjointed from there. Let's see. So this then needs be 50% on these edges. Waiting, adjust weights 50%. And then this one will be 50% there and 100% of this. Let's see. I'm going to take a moment and have a drink. And I'm dual wielding yeah, what is it? Is it red box or black box? It's black box. Good cheap wine. Okay. I'm going to save this again. So I think we're back on a roll now. Now what I can do is utilize some IK and I'm wondering if I even really need this bone. Oh wait, yeah, duh. That's the root. And this is what I'm going to scale from and everything, so... But this isn't the root, that's the issue. Yeah, okay. Anyway, grab this, and I'll grab that. Set up. So the first bone, I want to create an IK chain here. So the first bone is where it's going to start, and then I'm going to add a goal here. Because I want to be able to rotate the end of the tongue. So, inverse kinematics here, we'll do assign IK. And actually, maybe I should have... Why did that not do what I wanted? Is it because I selected the last one? Grab that one, assign IK. Yeah, there we go, add goal. Okay. Now that goal always comes in really small. This will be tongue. And actually, I'll probably keep goal tongue. Because I probably did that with the, yeah, goal. Goal tongue, make this a bit of a larger, actually it should have been locator display. There we are, locator shapes. And make this a bit larger. Something like 50 millimeters. And I don't like the box, so I'm going to replace it with a sphere. Alright, so now if I select this and move that around, you know, I get this this licky tongue thing going on. And you'll see that the end is kind of not, and sometimes if I go do that, you know, I guess the tongue will be pretty much one direction. You see the end looks all ugly, and I was wanting to basically be able to rotate it up like that. It's generally a good idea to have, like on something like this, to just have control over the tip of it. I do that with a lot of the different chains. Whenever I make a chain, I tend to put a root near the end so I can rotate the end independently. Otherwise, you don't have any. I guess I can show you otherwise, and it might work out just fine with this model. It might not. It normally doesn't, but I'll try it. Assign IK, add goal, and see if this. Nope, actually, it looks better. Although the spans, I'm not really a fan of what's going on with these spans in here. It looks all lumpy and broken. Yep. Yeah. All lumpy and broken. So, I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. Let's try an alternative. basically it just requires reweighting this. Um, and if reweighting it doesn't work, then I basically have to. Well, I have a couple of options, and actually, reweighting them isn't necessarily the only one. It's not even the fastest one. So if I did something like this, I'm like, oh well, these loops are not doing what I want. They're just kind of looking ugly. I can be like, well, goodbye loops. But then that obviously makes the tongue more blocky. And I would rather do a proper fix. And the proper fix is either a reweight or a reskeleton and then a reweight. But for now, I'm going to leave that one alone. And I'm going to do the weighting, adjust weights down to 0, and go down this. So now we're back to 0, and I'll go with my original plan was to weight that one 100%, this one at 50%, and then this one at 50%. Which means, now I select that, do this one at 50%, this one at 50%, this one at 100%, 100%, uh-oh. I didn't deselect that bone, so there we are. 50. 50, 100, 100. So, you know, this can go quickly once you're back into the swing of knowing what you're doing to some extent. 50. And this could get awkward here, but let's see. 50, 50, 100, and it's going to be 100, 50, 50, 50, and I'm just going to go ahead and put that one at 100 because I'm going to have to go through and do something like this and select the bounds and then put that at 50. And that'll be 50. And then what's left in here, this little strip here, will be at 100 on that last bone. And I need to go now back here and kind of figure out what I'm going to do. I think really I'll just put this at 50. And then everything back here will be at 100. And save this as 5. See how this works out. Will it be ugly? Will it be smooth? Ah, it's ugly again. It's still ugly. Okay. 2 choices. Really, actually not 2 choices. 1 choice. The choice is to just create a new skeleton. Which should not take long. And you know, actually, if I had it on its own layer, I think part of the problem is that I'm treating it rigidly instead of doing more of a smooth weighting. I'm treating it rigidly, and that's why it's not working. Unfortunately, I don't think I can just do only a bind here. Yeah, it's not going to work that way. It might work that way if I do that. So let's see. I've got the tongue root, got the clam, item mode. Okay, so it will work this way. Bind, medium, smooth. But the problem is that the other bones will probably have been taken into account. Let's try this. Still ugly. Not good. Not good. Set up. Grab that, grab that. I'm going to try high distance. Binded segments. Limit weights to 3. Minimum weight value is 0. And that's still not really... Who'd have thought rigging a tongue would be so... That actually looks good. Yeah, it's the same sort of scenario. There we go. There we go. So it's the same sort of scenario as the sea cucumber. When I came over here and selected that, and then selected these vertices and did the where are my? Well, I guess show weight values is on. And well, whatever. It's not showing them. You can still see though the the weighting here. It's really a smooth gradient, and that's why it deforms well. I was just in the habit of doing rigid stuff because most of the characters in my game are rigid, and I was approaching it wrong, trying to make it a rigid weighting, basically. Do rigid weighting instead of instead of doing a smooth weighting. Anyway, that now looks a lot better. And hopefully, if I select that and scale it down, no, not that. This ring, not the full by IK. I want the tongue root. Yeah, I kind of figured that might happen. Yeah. That gets all kinds of ugly. Alright, so it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Interesting. I was counting on the transform bringing it in like that, but I kind of thought it would handle that better. I'm curious as to if it's the IK. So I'm going to go ahead and go into remove the IK, and actually, first off, I should be able to remove the goal. Or do I have to select the IK and the goal? Shouldn't matter. I think the goal is useless now anyway. Once the IK is gone, it shouldn't cause any problems. And delete. Now let's see. Yep, so it is the goal. It's the IK, or well, rather, it's the IK. Well, regardless, I can't have the I can't be scaling down the root. So what I'm going to go ahead and try, grab the, well, let me just put the IK back. I'll just Control Z and hopefully not crash. Hopefully I'll get my IK back. There we go. Okay. So I'll go into setup. I'm going to add another locator, and then I'm going to add, and really I can probably just put that one here, though I'd rather put it, I'm going to grab that and this and do a setup match position, item position, and then I want to, where are you? There you are. Locator. I'm going to call this tongue, I guess. Just call it tongue. That's fine. Doesn't. I'll call this one tongue root. And now I'll put that one above the tongue. Put tongue in tongue root. Now in theory, that won't break everything. So, alright, now the theory is that I should be able to take this tongue root and scale it without breaking everything. And it kind of works. It's scaling. The problem is, I think, with this goal still, though. With the IK. And this is irritating me. I need to make this bigger. Because this definitely won't work. I can't scale that. Don't want to scale that. Even rotating this and stuff, it's not really what I want to do. I want to scale it. But I thought it would do a better job. I didn't think it would just, it's just pulling the other skeleton nodes back. It doesn't really look like it's actually scaling them. Maybe it is. Well, I'm just going to leave that there. I'm going to pull this back. Yeah, this has no effect at that point. All it does is make it ugly. And that's not going to do anything. Let's see. Well, if I scale... So what I might have to do is create something that goes through and scales each and every one of these at the same. Am I scaling? I'm not even sure that that's going to work. Because I was thinking that I could scale every single one of these, but it didn't look like scaling this one was really doing much usefulness. It's not. It's basically either broken or not broken. Let's see, this will probably do this. Yeah, just broken or not broken. Okay. So I guess I'm going to end it here. It's been an hour. And I'll have to figure out off camera how to make this behave how I want it to, and then come back on and show you, which I guess will be for tomorrow. But the reason I'm showing just kind of just diving in and don't have it all planned out is because it's good to be able to see the problems and then the solutions to them and everything. Because odds are, if you're doing this on your own, you're going to run into tons of problems. And this is just me not having rigged in too long. It's been too long since I rigged. I'm sure plenty of people that rig regularly are laughing at me right now. But I'll have a solution for you tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and have a good night.